Welcome to Silverstone, where the penultimate round of the Dunlop Endurance Championship will feature the first of two into the night races.
Rob, we've got a really interesting couple of races to end the season with these day into night races. The GT cars going around at night, there's something special about that, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, flames, glowing disc brakes, that sort of thing. And of course, with Britcar, we've got a huge mix of cars. So yeah, there's quite a lot of overtaking and a few close moments.
It was second year organising the championship. Compared to last year, the numbers have increased massively.
I think one of the things we've done, we've listened to the competitors. We've sort of said, right, what do you need? What do you want? What do you want at a race meeting? One-day meetings has been brilliant. And I think, yeah, we worked hard on building the lower classes up. It sort of bolsters the field, but also it proves to people that they can come in and race a Britcar. You haven't got to spend a fortune on a huge GT3 car. We've worked hard on it. We've got a lot of cars in, so we're looking good for next year.
Making its debut this weekend is this Aston Martin Vantage, run by EDF Motorsport and driven by three-time Mini champion Ben Seyfried and newcomer Mal Sandford.
This is actually my first race in this car. I've done some, obviously some licence and signature races in Portugal, where I live, and we've been lucky enough to get some initial sponsorship from the Mercury Foundation, and also United Nations are currently running the Clean Seas program. They're really trying to tidy up the ocean, and we're all about supporting that, so it's great.
What are you expecting from the race once the light starts to fade later on?
I'm going to do the first stint, so nothing like doing the start in the first race in this car, but I think Ben will be better suited at night, and I dare say he'll be doing a little bit of catching up. At the end of the day, the next two races, this and Brands Hatch, is all about me getting to grips with the car in the race, and I just want to bring a clean car home.
Of Sprint Championship frontrunners Roland Hopkins and Matt Boyce. So as dusk sets in here at Silverstone, the cars come around ready for the rolling start there, showing the sixth row of the grid that came in of Britt Nevison. Here we go then, ready for the penultimate round of the 2017 Dunlop Endurance Championship. To the right of your picture, the pole sitter Stefano Lini. Great start from the Mercedes from fourth. That's going to be second place for Richard. Now we're going to get a replay of the start on board with Sarah Moore, who started 17th and got a rocket ship start, drawing alongside the Aston Martin Vantage of newcomer Mal Sandford. And ahead is the Alfa Romeo of Barry McMahon. The Aston and the Alfa get very close together into turn one at Copse Corner. Sarah carries the momentum around the outside, having already gained a couple of positions off the line. The Aston Martin's got plenty of granted a straight line, but Sarah sneaks down the inside here on the way into Maggots. By the time they get to the Beckett's corner, she was through. They're in second place overall then. The Team ABBA Roll Centre Racing Mercedes of Richard Neary. He's been driving this 6.2 litre V8 in the British GT Championships this year. And there is a former British GT champion back in 2000. Callum Lockheed was the overall title winner before then becoming a multiple Britcar champion. He's third overall, fourth place overall for the championship leaders in endurance. MJC Furlonger, the Ferrari of Wick Gamsky, which will hand over to Ross Wiley for the second part of the race. And this then still nose to tail, the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th positions between the three Team Hard Ginettas. On board with Tom Barley, trying to chase down Tommy Knight. They are so close in the battle for the class and overall championship title. Mal Sandford then is coming back now at Barry McMahon in the Alfa Romeo. So Mal getting into the rhythm now in the Aston Martin with a good move there at the inside into Copse Corner to get ahead of the very experienced Alfa racer at Barry McMahon. Mal accelerates then out of Copse Corner, but he's not shaken off Barry McMahon just yet, and the Alfa 156 whips back down the inside into Maggots. They go right through Beckett's now, where they turn off the Grand Prix circuit. Already the low sunlight is starting to be an issue for the drivers, glaring at them through certain corners. The Alfa just a bit twitchy as it accelerates out onto the Wellington Straight. The Aston Martin is now coming back at him, and the EDF Motorsport car gets the position back as they head towards Brooklands. And look at this fight between the Ginettas. We get a replay now with Mal Sanford, who was right behind that moment. A huge lock-up there from Mike Moss, who went skidding wide, avoided the spin and got back on track. Here comes the Bespoke Cards Porsche, now driven by Marcus Fothergill, who's taken over from Dave Bennett, and that car is now up to third. Into the pits for its scheduled stop comes this pristine EDF Motorsport prepared Aston Martin Vantage. Mal Sanford ends what's been a successful first stint in Britcar and first time out here at Silverstone. Right behind them, Darren Lewis heads out on track of the Team Hard Racing Ginetta. He and Tommy Knight have had to serve a 145-second minimum pit stop time. That's 25 seconds longer than the other two Team Hard cars. That's because of success penalties gathered over the last few rounds. Comes the Whitebridge Motorsport Aston Martin with a grazed right rear corner. That's because Chris Murphy has had an off and has had to limp back to the pits. There's also been drama for the race leaders because on the way in, the car ran out of fuel, had to stop on track to switch on the reserve tank. It cost them a huge amount of time. Ben Seyfried is now flying along in the EDF Motorsport Aston Martin, but on his debut in Britcar, his teammate Mal Sanford made some big improvements.
Mal, you got back out of the car. How was it?
Yeah, we got through. I've done some of my best times in that first session I've done all weekend. So in practice and in qualifying. So really happy, and the car's fantastic. And EDF Motorsports have done a great job on the car. It's fantastic, really good.
Game over, I'm afraid, though, for the Whitebridge Motorsport Aston. Too much damage done after that off for Chris Murphy. So Matt George, I'm afraid, won't get to drive. We're into the closing stages of the race here at Silverstone. The checkered flag is almost within touching distance for the race leaders, MJC Furlonger. Well, a big crowd gathered here to watch this fantastic spectacle, the day into night race. Glowing disc brakes, flame-spitting exhausts and average speeds approaching 110 miles an hour. It's been a real sight for them. Going very, very slowly on this final lap to make sure he doesn't have to do another one with fuel. Perhaps an issue is Ross Wiley. He's well clear, though, of the radical, and the checkered flag comes out. MJC Furlonger win here at Silverstone. The team has also played its part with clever fuel management to get them to the end with just the one stop in this 2-hour race. Confirmation of the results then: Gapsky and Wiley win, Leaney and Weldon in second. Varley and Hatfield complete the top three. And if you enjoyed the spectacle of night racing, the good news is that we get to do it again, twice, at the Brands Hatch season finale. Thanks for watching.